Okay, this is Chapter 11, Practice Problems A on page 402 for number 3. We have a patient with severe bronchitis, has an order for penicillin V, 250,000 units QID, which is 4 times a day. Medication on hand is oral penicillin V, 400,000 units for every 5 milliliters. So what volume is given to the patient with each dose? Well, what we want and what we have are two different things. We've got to figure that out. So the first thing we do is how much of this on hand do we need to give? So we figure out that if we have 400,000 units for every 5 milliliters, then if we want to give 250,000 units, we need to figure out, that's our X, how many milliliters do we give? Once we do the math, you do your 250,000 times 5. Get 1,250,000. Okay, and then you divide by 400,000. And you get 3.125, which really would be 3.13, rounding to the nearest hundredth. So your answer is 3.13 milliliters is what you would want to give of what's on hand to fulfill that order. And of course, that's 4 times a day. Now, the next part of that was what measuring device should be included if that person's going to take the medication at home. Well, in order to get the most accurate dose, 3.13 milliliters, we're not going to be able to do that there. Right here, you can't measure it out accurately. Right here, you can't measure it out accurately. This is going to be the best one. D is going to be able to measure that out the most accurately. So the next one is, what is the measurable dose? Well, can you actually measure out 3.13? Not really. So you go to the closest, which is 3.2. You don't want to go to 3.1, even though rounding would give it back to 3.1, because then you're not giving enough. It's not the full dose. So you go up to 3.2 milliliters, and so you can measure that out on your syringe. So if the patient should misplace the measuring device divided, how could this be estimated using household utensils? And so if you actually look on here for 3.1 or 3.2 milliliters, looking at our, I'm going to move it up just a little bit. Okay, looking at our syringe, here's 3 milliliters. So if we wanted to go 3.2, here's the first line is 0.2. Okay, so you can figure that out. Well, that looks like somewhere between half a teaspoon and 1 teaspoon. Okay, so the closest for a household utensil is going to be 3/4 of a teaspoon for the closest dose. Okay, so it's not going to be exact, but it's definitely going to be the closest dose. So that's how you do number 3. Number 4 is pretty darn easy. If you just take a look, you'll see you've got tablets, 800,000 units to be given twice a day. The available is 400,000 unit tablets. So how many tablets should be administered per dose? Well, you need 2 to get 800,000 units, and you'll do that twice a day. So you'll need 4 a day. Pretty simple. Now, number 5, I'm going to show you number 5, and number 6 is exactly like it. So on number 5, you've got a physician ordering penicillin G, 450,000 units, IM, intramuscularly daily for 4 days. So the available medication is a penicillin G, 300,000 units per milliliter. So again, we go with what we know. The first thing, what we know, is that we have 300,000 units for every 1 milliliter. That we know. But we want 450,000 units. So we need to know how much dosage we need to give. That's what the volume of medication is what we need to give. And we just do the math. Do your cross multiplication. You get 300,000. X equals 450,000. Some people can in their head. I cannot. 450,000 divided by 300,000. And that gets you 1.5. So you would give 1.5 milliliters. Okay, that is your volume administered daily. Then what type of syringe you would need? So you would need at least a 3 milliliter syringe. A 2 milliliter syringe would do as well, but those are harder to find. Usually you can only find 3 milliliter syringes. So we went with you go with the 3 milliliter syringe. So number 6 is like that, and so I will actually show you, except for the interpreting. It's a very similar question. So interpreting that, to interpret the order is penicillin G, 750,000 units, intramuscularly every 12 hours, and then at 2.5 milliliters you should administer with each dose. So you can figure that out, and then what you can just show your math, and then it would be this syringe that you would give for the 2.5. You need to make sure you show the math to show me that you understand.